Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Vino Veritas. I'm Anthony, and this is my lovely co-host, Master of Wine Jeannie. And we're here to share everything there is to know about wine. Now, first, wine is all made from grapes, of course. But can you use just any type of grape?
Well, the grapes that we use for making wine is a very specific species called Vitis vinifera. Very different from table grapes. Yes, you don't have to remember that. The most important thing is that the grapes used for wine are smaller berries, and it concentrates flavor, tannins, all the juicy, delicious things that you look for in wine. And so when you taste them as a table grape, they don't taste as good as you would with a juicy table grape. And there are hundreds of varieties actually that are used around the world, especially in Italy and France.
Oh, sounds fantastic. Why don't we go and find some of those?
Fantastic.
Okay.
Vinexpo Asia Pacific, the region's leading wine and spirits exhibition dedicated to industry professionals, was held for the 6th time in Hong Kong from May 27th to 29th.
If you're new to the world of wine, you probably don't know that 2 times a year, Vinexpo is held in major cities across the globe. And here in the Asia Pacific region, Hong Kong is, of course, the most ideal city for hosting such a world-class exhibition.
This was my very first time to Vinexpo. Everywhere I looked, we had exhibitors from all around the world with all this great wine.
Now there are over 1,000 exhibitors here from over 30 wine-producing countries here at Vinexpo. Now you're not going to see just the famous regions like France and Chile, but some other lesser-known regions like Japan and Latvia will be here as well.
After I spent the entire day at Vinexpo, I noticed the floor had hustle and bustle throughout the entire day. People from around the world were networking and buying and selling wines from all of their favorite producers.
The wine from south of Italy is like the sun, because we are in the south of Italy and we have a lot of sun, we have a wonderful weather, so it's perfect for the fruit.
I think sunshine makes South African wines different from other wines. We are in Stellenbosch, and we're one of the wineries that's known for biodiversity farming and also taking care of the environment.
So we're a very young winemaking region, and we're very eager to learn. New Zealanders are quite competitive, and we like to do things well. And some of our winemakers do a vintage in the Northern Hemisphere, and then also down in New Zealand. And also people help each other out, so they cooperate and want to make sure that if their neighbour is making good wine, if they're making good wine, then the whole country is making good wine. So yes, we want to do our best. Cheers!
This is C'est la Vie's second lesson. How do we check our wines in a fine dining restaurant?
Ah, here comes the wine. Great. Yeah? It's going to be great wine.
Yeah.
Ah, thank you.
Can I have a look?
Sure. Ah.
What?
Yeah, it's not bad. But you know, I think you'd like something a little bit more fruity. I think we should have the wine we ordered.
But he already opened the bottle. I don't think it's good for us to return an open bottle of wine. Honey, I think we should just keep the bottle. Yeah, thank you.
The wine label will be presented to you when you order this bottle of wine, and it's very, very important to check it because, you know, on those big wine menus, you might have 3 or 4 of the same wine with a different vintage, so different year of production. And what is important is you don't want to end up saying, yes, this is the right wine, and having the bill coming later on with 3 times or 4 times the amount of the bottle that you've ordered. Then you will have the cork later on, which will be presented to you. The reason of presenting the cork is very much to analyze if the cork is in a good condition, which will show you if the wine has a fault or not. You might see already that the wine is faulty, such as cork wine or oxidative style. And this is very, very important too, because you would be able at this time to say, I do not want that bottle of wine because it is not in the right condition. Once you've analyzed the cork, the ideal situation would be to test a little bit of the wine. And then again, you will wish to have a little test of it, to smell it first, and then to test it. This is again where you will be able to detect if there is a fault in the wine, and this is where you will be able to say to the wine waiter if the wine is not at the conditions that you wish to have, or if the wine doesn't taste like it has been suggested to you.
Now Jeannie introduces her home country's cuisine to her friends, the delicious Korean food. And we may have the impression that Korean food is spicy and strong flavored with lots of seasoning. And to pair wine with dishes that have such a strong character is quite challenging. But Jeannie, master of Asian food and wine, will show us how.
Hi everyone, I'm so glad that you could all make it to this lunch today. Here, David Henderson. He's a very old hand in China because he started Montrose back in 1988. Great, and Anna Pakua, who is based in the United States in Chicago and is a wine lifestyle curator. And Toby and I have known each other before he started his wine business, Golden Gate, here in Hong Kong, specializing in American wines. And so we normally start out with, small dishes. This is a classic Korean meal
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, great.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Great.
Thanks.
Thank you.
To explore the world of wine, follow us to France, the quintessential wine region of the world. First, Jeannie and I will head to Bordeaux, the oldest and largest wine growing region. Here, we will visit different chateaux, meet some of the biggest names in the wine world, and reveal their secrets to producing the finest wines in the world. And we made sure to check out the hottest event in Bordeaux, Fête le Vin. So let's explore the world of wine together. Fête le Vin, the Bordeaux Wine Festival. It lasts for 4 days, and each day you can discover many different things. The festival is not just only about having fun. It also has very practical workshops and lessons for wine lovers, so they can improve their knowledge of wine. Guided by wine experts, you can now start to appreciate every sip of your red and white wine.
Now, besides all the fun and exciting wine festivities that's happening here at the Fête le Vin, there is a more serious side, and that's called the Bordeaux Wines Classification of 1855. Now, 150 years ago, this was developed to rank some of the top wines in this region, and we have a very special invitation to attend a wine tasting class in a room called the Espace 1855. It's right here in this beautiful heritage building, Palais de la Bourse.
Palais de la Bourse is where the 1855 classification was established. The idea was to establish a high-level classification, and if an estate obtained this level, they were given this recognition based on its terroir and reputation. The classification was the confirmation of an existing market and the evolution of over more than a century. So let's meet Mary Dardenne, a wine educator, to tell us more.
So, talking about education, I just attended a growth class, classification growth. Maybe you can tell me a little bit more about what that is all about.
Well, the class was on the 1855 classification, and we talked about the history of this classification. A lot of times, most people only know the wines from this classification.
Okay.
They are the premium wines of Bordeaux, and this classification was created in 1855. That was over 150 years ago. How can it still be pertinent?
Lots of history there.
Exactly. So we're trying to explain why it's still in place and why it's still applicable.
Maybe you can share with me a little bit about like who gets represented, how do the vineyards get chosen, and anything else we might need to know.
Well, first of all of the wineries come from this 1855 classification, and then it's purely on a volunteer basis.
Oh, really?
We had each appellation, well, most of the appellations, all of the 5 in the Medoc represented, so 1 from each appellation, and then 2 from the sweet white wines, 1 from Barsac and 1 from Sauternes, which are the 2 different appellations, and they volunteer their wines, so they graciously donate their wines to this education.
So they're not sponsored, no one's paid.
Nope.
They do it all on their own to help educate. Oh, fantastic.
And the owners come and they talk to you and they answer the questions, and they're there to answer any questions that the consumers might have.
So the consumer can come here and ask specific questions right from the word of the mouth, from the
horse's mouth.
Yes,
exactly.
I don't want to go there, but exactly. Wow, that's a great education.
Yeah.
Now, who are the typical people that come to these classes?
You generally have people who really know their stuff in wines, but we have about 30 to 40 people each time, and you have great consumers, wine connoisseurs, but we've also had people who are starting off in their wine education and want to know more.
Just avid fans.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Do you have a favorite wine?
Oh yes, I do.
Yes?
The wine which is in my glass at the time.
That's the perfect answer. Well, thank you very much for your time, Mary.
Thank you. It's been a great pleasure.
Great. Thank you.
To describe the next chateau, I would have to say it's more than just a chateau. It is surrounded by beautiful vines and trees, wooden houses and art pieces where you can enjoy a great glass of wine anytime. It's just a wonderland for wine lovers.
Jeannie, you've taken me to this beautiful vineyard. But I had no idea you'd have art here as well.
Yes, this is a vineyard surrounded by art. The owners, Florence and Danielle Cathyards, they love art. They have art in the vineyard, around the chateau, everywhere you look. And as you can see, the whole environment is artistic.
Absolutely.
This chateau is truly unique. You'll find a 5-star hotel on the grounds of a vineyard. The hotel is surrounded by its own vineyards and lake-filled gardens. The extraordinary collection of contemporary buildings, created from recycled local materials, is specifically designed for the chateau. The rooms and suites are styled to reflect the Aquitaine region in color, the paintings, and unique antiques. For nature lovers, a special suite is nestled in the heart of the vineyards and has an unexpected avant-garde interior design.
Les Sources de Caudalie started back in '99. With my husband, we decided to build an hotel in the middle of my family vineyards. We are only 15 minutes away from Bordeaux city center, and it's a very natural landscape and setting. We wanted to build the hotel here because it's actually not the best setting for vineyards. We are kind in a downhill and we have too much water to produce the best grape of Chateau Smith au Lafitte. But for me, this setting was absolutely gorgeous and I thought it was the best place to build an hotel in the middle of the vineyards. Behind the hotel, we want to bring many activities, different restaurants, a unique wine list. It's all about the French art de vivre, being here in the vineyards and enjoying great wine, great food.
So Florence, this is the 1998 vintage. Tell us a little bit about this vintage.
Yes, this vintage for us was our first really glorious vintage because we were invited by Wine Spectator and selected among the 10 best wines in the world to go on a stage with the other French wine Cheval Blanc, and the others were foreign wine. Nobody's perfect, but still we were very pleased to be there.
It's still very youthful. It has all the evolution, the sweet fruits.
Still fresh.
But still very fresh.
Fresh, yes.
And how much longer do you think that this wine will age?
I think it could last for 15 years at least.
And I noticed you use this gorgeous Swan decanter for the 98. And would you say for this vintage specifically, you would recommend how long to decant in your experience?
We think 1 or 2 hours is good because
1 or 2 hours of decanting.
Yes. It's interesting because you have a long oxygenation and it's not so large down.
No, I think this is perfect for a 16-year-old. Yes. And then we have 2 fantastic vintages, the 2000 and the 2001.
Exactly.
And it's interesting. I'm enjoying tasting it as a pair.
We won blind grand jury European with the 2001.
With the 01, with the 2000.
And we were surprised because they tested it 10 years later and they decided that. But the 2000 is really, it's interesting to see, because it's quite unusual for us to put these 2 together, so I am very much interested.
2000 still has great structure. Wonderful tannins, very ripe.
Yes.
And the 01 already smells more open. It has great tobacco, cedar,
exactly,
dark berries. And the 01 is very sweet. Wonderful mid-palate sweetness. Florence, thank you for such a wonderful tasting. I think just tasting these 3 very different vintages. Next time we have to make sure that we get all the whites represented too, because I'm a huge fan of your whites.
Yeah.
I think both the whites and reds at Smith & Lafitte are fantastic. So
you have to come back.
I will. Toast to all the new projects you're working on.
Merci beaucoup.
Good luck.
Thank you.